5 habits you have every day that show you were abused by a narcissist. These habits should not be done every day because they are bad for your mental health. It's not easy to do, is it? Some things that people do stick with you after being abused by a narcissist without you even realizing it. You might think you're just being careful or kind, but these actions really show that someone has deep mental wounds. Let's talk about 5 habits you may have that show you were abused by a narcissist today. Are you ready for the first one? When you rest, you feel bad. When you are abused by a narcissist, you learn that taking a break is selfish. You may have heard the narcissist say, "Must be nice to do nothing," or "You should be helping me instead," whenever you took a break while they were with you. Over time, this constant stress changes the way your brain works so that you feel bad when you're not working, doing chores, or being useful. Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents author Dr. Lindsay C. Gibson says that being in a narcissistic setting makes people feel like their wants don't matter. It makes them work too hard just to feel important. This guilt doesn't go away on its own once you're no longer abused. You might find it hard to enjoy a free weekend because you feel like you need to do something. The reason for this is that your nerve system has learned that being still means danger. When you slowed down in the past, you got punished, whether it was being made to feel guilty, being ignored, or being criticized directly. In reality, rest is not a nice to have, it's a must. Your mind and body need time to rest and heal so they can process feelings and get their energy back. Start small if this is hard for you. Remind yourself that taking a break doesn't mean you're not good enough or lazy. It makes you a person. You can also fight the shame by asking yourself, who benefits from me believing this? It takes time to get out of this way of thinking, but Dr. Nicole LePera, author of How to Do the Work, says that you will heal when you stop giving up on yourself and start putting your needs first. Take that break now, you deserve it. Let's talk about the second one. You think too much about what you say and write. Do you read texts over and over again before you send them, or even worse, after you send them? You've learned to be careful what you say. Narcissistic abuse teaches you that the words you use can cause a fight, a punishment, or just being ignored. Now it seems like every letter could be a trick. You want to know if I sounded rude. Will this bother them in the wrong way? It's wearing me out. A professional psychologist named Dr. Ramani Durvasula, who wrote the book Should I Stay or Should I Go?, says that narcissists make their victims constantly question their own choices. You might replay parts of talks in your head, studying tone and facial expressions, even when you're with the person. Did my voice sound too angry, too needy? Did I make them mad? We do this because it helps us stay alive. You learn that the narcissist can change how they feel about anything, and now you're trying to figure out what went wrong. Dr. Carol McBride, a psychologist and author of Will I Ever Be Good Enough, calls this narcissistic-induced self-doubt. Victims lose faith in their ability to interact properly because they were taught to expect criticism just for being themselves. Most people aren't taking what you say the way you are. In healthy relationships, you don't have to figure out what someone is trying to say or guess when they are angry without them saying it. If you find yourself getting angry over a small text or conversation, stop and ask yourself, would a normal person be angry about this? Most likely, the answer is no. You should learn to let go of things you can't change, like how the narcissist reacts. Now let's talk about number 3. You always look to see if the doors are locked. If you are constantly checking to see if you closed the door twice, 3 times, or even 4 times, it means you are deeply anxious. People who are abused by narcissists learn to be constantly on guard, always thinking that something bad is going to happen. Your brain learns to look for danger even when there isn't any, when you've felt unsafe for a long time. Trauma and recovery. Author Dr. Judith Herman says that abuse that lasts for a long time can change the brain so that it stays in a steady state of fight or flight. There's no escape, not even in your own home. When a narcissist invades your privacy all the time, you feel helpless. Checking the locks twice makes you feel like you have some control. The irony is this, though: when you check, you might still have doubts. Did I lock it? What if I forgot? Years of hearing that your memory isn't good or that you can't trust yourself have left you with that lasting worry. Shannon Thomas, who wrote Healing from Hidden Abuse, says that people who have been abused emotionally often turn to obsessive habits to make their lives more predictable in a world that they used to find totally uncertain. The good news? This habit isn't permanent. Healing means learning to comfort yourself in healthy ways. The next time you check the door for the 5th time, take a moment to remember that you locked it. I'm safe. Make a routine if it helps. Say "door locked" out loud as you do it to help your brain remember. Your brain and nerves will start to believe it over time. Let's move on to number 4 now. You clean your surroundings too much. Do you always want to clean, organize, and scrub, even when everything is already clean? If so, you're probably trying to feel in charge of a world that used to feel totally out of your hands. A narcissist's anger could have been caused by a lost item, a bit of dust, or an unfinished task. Your brain starts to connect cleanliness with safety over time. In his book, The Body Keeps the Score, trauma expert Dr. Bessel van der Kolk talks about how trauma patients often do repetitive things to make their surroundings feel more orderly when their inner world is chaotic. It's not just about keeping things clean that I clean too much. It has to do with staying out of trouble, even if no one is left to judge you. When someone has been criticizing your every move for years, you start to think about how they will judge you before it happens. You might find that you scrub a clean counter not because it needs it, but because it makes you feel better. When you want to clean too much, stop and ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to or because I feel like I have to? It's part of healing to be able to live in a place that isn't perfect and understand that a little mess won't make things worse. When you know you are safe, even when things aren't perfect, you'll feel in charge over time. We've finally reached number 5. Self-care tasks like cleaning are skipped. You may have forgotten how to take care of yourself because you've been putting the narcissist's wants first so much. Do you choose your abuser over yourself? Author Dr. Annie Cassina says that people who have been emotionally abused often stop taking care of themselves because they've been taught that their needs don't count. Even something as easy as washing your face can feel like too much to handle when your mind is heavy from being manipulated for years. Skipping cleanliness can also be a way of rebelling in your mind. You may have been told you had to look a certain way or were criticized for how you looked, no matter how hard you tried. Self-care might not seem important if your attacker picked at your clothes, hair, or body. Why bother if people are going to judge you anyway? But remember this, taking back responsibility means taking care of yourself again. You don't have to start a full skincare routine right away. Start out small. You could wash your face, put on new clothes, or brush your hair